Welcome back to GMFB. We got a buzz right now on a Thursday morning, and it's because of that. Last segment, we revealed the offensive Pro Bowlers from both the NFC and the AFC, all across quarterback, offensive line. Peter, remind us, who are the three AFC Pro Bowl quarterbacks?
Three AFC Pro Bowl quarterbacks are Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. No Patrick Mahomes.
Not at all. Remember, this is fan vote, coach vote, player vote, all combined. Now it's time to reveal the defense. Let's go. Let's start with the outside linebackers. These are edge rushers from the AFC. This is awesome. First-time Pro Bowl from Denver, Nick Bonito. This guy made plays all year long on a team that is in position to go to the Super Bowl, or rather to the playoffs, maybe the Super Bowl, largely because of their defense. Nick Bonito, Peter, first Pro Bowl selection. Love to see it, and I love this dynamic. First for Bonito, ninth for this guy, Khalil Mack.
What's up, Khalil Mack?
From the LA Chargers. This is a guy, Defensive Player of the Year as a Raider, some great years at Chicago, and now going to Pro Bowl number 9.
Top 5 pick.
Awesome. Top 5 pick now goes to the Pro Bowl, the people's pick. And then here we go. From the Pittsburgh Steelers, making his 7th Pro Bowl, T.J. Watt. The only player in the NFL that in my home has a life-size 6-foot fat head. I own that in my residence. I love T.J. Watt. My family does, and so do everybody voting. So here we go, guys. Outside linebackers, call them edge rushers. Bonito and Watt will start with Mack from the Chargers, coming off the bench, if you will. Jamie, what else you got for us?
Let's take you to the same position group but the NFC side of things. I like that we've been assigned these various groups because now I feel like I'm taking ownership of the names that I myself have revealed for the Pro Bowl games, and you're going to understand why I say that right now. Because I have 2 Minnesota Vikings who are making their first appearances on the Pro Bowl roster. Starting first with Jonathan Grenard in from Houston. He joins this Brian Flores defense. Making his first Pro Bowl is Jonathan Grenard playing lights out alongside his teammate with the beautiful glowing locks, pick 6, fastest guy you can see coming out of that backfield, Andrew Van Ginkel making his first Pro Bowl appearance. How is that possible when you have a main like that? Awesome guys with this Vikings defense. 2 first-time Pro Bowl selections in Grenard and Van Ginkel. And then there's just a straight-up first-timer in the rookie Jared Verse from the LA Rams. He is rounding out the NFC side of things for the linebackers. An awesome story for Verse coming out of Florida State. His first selection alongside 2 veteran guys, but on new teams. Those are your NFC outside linebackers. This is a beautiful group. Look at that. Is nasty right there, Peter.
All right, let's go to the corners. Jamie, you just gave the linebackers there. The corners is a very controversial position.
Yeah.
Proud players in the league. Who made the Pro Bowl? Who got the votes? Start off with a friend of the show and a guy who's been around for a long time, making his 4th Pro Bowl and maybe had his best season as a Baltimore Raven. Marlon Humphrey's in, guys.
Come on now.
Marlon Humphrey. Awesome season for Humphrey. Of course, had the big pick against the Steelers on that Saturday game. Next up, Houston Texans, a top 5 selection from a couple of years ago. An absolute shutdown corner. First Pro Bowl for Derek Stingley Jr. Next, for the 3rd time, a guy who's being talked about as a potential Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL. That is Pat Surtain II. Pat Surtain had his best season as a pro. And last but not least, his 4th time making it from a Cleveland Browns team that did not have a lot of positive moments this year. This guy did. Denzel Ward makes it. Congratulations, Denzel Ward. I will tell you, my favorite defensive back in football, Trent McDuffie, not voted in. So now Mahomes and McDuffie, both Chiefs, not making it, while these guys are all deserving to go. Marlon Humphrey, Derek Stingley Jr., Pat Surtain II, and of course, making his 4th time as a Pro Bowler, Denzel Ward. Congratulations to those men.
Congratulations. It's a great list for the AFC. Now let's get to the dogs on the NFC side. So let's hit the corners right now. From the Carolina Panthers, making his first ever Pro Bowl is Mr. J.C. Horn. This dude is a dog, a player there for the Carolina Panthers. And I know they didn't have a good record, but this is a dude that definitely stood out. Next, we head to the Windy City. This is his 2nd selection from the Chicago Bears, Mr. Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson another outstanding cornerback. And up next, from that stingy Vikings defense, yes, making his first appearance, give him some love because Byron Murphy, you are going to the Pro Bowl. And finally, from the Seattle Seahawks, making his second appearance in the Pro Bowl, is Mr. Devin Witherspoon. So those guys right there are your corners representing the NFC. J.C. Horn, Jalen Johnson, Byron Murphy, and of course, Devin Witherspoon, Jalen Johnson, and Byron Murphy. Those guys, they'll be your starters.
Oh. All right. It's cool to see a Bear and a Panther up there. Sometimes the season doesn't go what you like, but you get after it individually. You get some recognition. Defensive linemen, guys. These are guys that get after the quarterback, pure and simple, the true defensive end pass rushers. Let's start in the AFC. His fourth Pro Bowl team. This guy's become an institution. From the Las Vegas Raiders, Max Crosby. That's M-A-X-X. I mentioned it. Peter did as well. Sometimes the season doesn't go as you want. You still play ball. You still get recognized. Crosby is going to the Pro Bowl again. Cleveland, you know this guy's going. Sixth Pro Bowl for Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, as of right now, is your NFL sack leader, tied with one other player, also in the AFC. And what do you know? Also voted into the Pro Bowl. AFC North, Trey Hendrickson, a no BS guy. He doesn't say much. He doesn't wear gloves. You go into a dark alley, you want Trey Hendrickson with him. Big game coming up from Hendrickson as we go into the final week, but none of that matters in this context. We are going to the Pro Bowl. Crosby, Garrett, Hendrickson. That's a crew right there.
8 men right there.
Pretty good. What else we got next?
The NFC side, I see your Crosby, Garrett, and Hendrickson, and I take you to San Francisco, making his 5th Pro Bowl, an absolute menace coming at quarterbacks. It's Nick Bosa. This Nick Bosa is a nightmare. 5-time Pro Bowler. You see him later in January. This is tremendous. He is awesome. And again, despite the 49ers not having the best season, this guy stayed on the field and continued to make a name for himself. Next, we take you to Green Bay. His first Pro Bowl, the Michigan man, Rashawn Gary, looking awesome in this Packers defense, going to the playoffs. He was absolutely surging as the season went on in this position group, and now he's a first-time Pro Bowler. Rashawn Gary, congratulations. And then, of course, you can't have an NFC. You can't have this position group. You can't have the Pro Bowl without Micah Parsons. Without Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys, a 4-time Pro Bowler now, heading to the Pro Bowl games. My God, I don't know which one is scarier, the NFC or the AFC side of things. I think because I'm saying Nick Bosa, Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons, Peter, that's who I will take. Those are your starters for the NFC Pro Bowl at the defensive end spot.
All right, I like that. The C-gap guys, the edge rushers. But let's get into the interior, the guys who are controlling the A-gap and the B-gap. Let's get to the men in the middle. And we're going to start off with the run stuffers. From the interior linemen, we'll start with the AFC making his 7th Pro Bowl from the Pittsburgh Steelers. None other than Cam Hayward. Okay. This dude is killing it in the middle. All right, and next from the Kansas City Chiefs, this is now the 6th selection for Chris Jones. We know he is the dominant force. We talk about this defense for the Kansas City Chiefs. It starts with Chris Jones. His ability to be disruptive up front, that is a difference maker. And next, from the Baltimore Ravens, making his 2nd Pro Bowl, the Ravens, Nnamdi Madubuike. He is right now wreaking havoc for that team. And I tell you right now, that defense is a different defense without Nnamdi. So, recapping the AFC interior defensive linemen, Cam Hayward, Chris Jones, and of course, Nnamdi Madubuike. And Cam Hayward and Chris Jones, those guys, they'll be your starters.
All right, we are there with the AFC. How about the NFC? Let's go to the NFC where we start in Philadelphia. We're making his first Pro Bowl selection in his 2nd season. Former Georgia Bulldog Eagles, Jalen Carter is going to be a Pro Bowler for the first time in his career. Dominant force up front. And going along with him, right up I-95, I believe one of the few bright spots for the New York Giants, Sexy Dexy, Dexter Lawrence will make his 3rd Pro Bowl team despite being injured earlier in the season. And then finally, we talk about him on the show a lot. He can run the ball. He can go into coverage. He can block as a fullback. But his best skill is just dominating the interior for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. making his second Pro Bowl, Vita Vea. Here are your big men from the NFC. I would not want to be a running back going up against these guys in an NFL game. Jalen Carter, Dexter Lawrence, and Vita Vea. Congratulations to those three young, talented superstars.
Absolutely, Peter. Let's take you to the AFC side of things in the middle linebacker spot. Look at this crew of defensive and special teamers from the AFC. Across the screen, we see a lot of friends of the show. Congratulations to Zaire Franklin, Roquan Smith, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Kyle Hamilton starting at strong safety, Derwin James backing him up. Then your special teamers, Logan Cook, Chris Boswell having himself a year. And did he catch it? Did he? Marvin Mims Jr. as your kick returner, Brendan Schooler, and then, of course, Ross Matisick from the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's your AFC defensive and special teams. Kyle.
There's more pictures on that than the game day morning pictures we show each week. I love it. Rounding out the team of the NFC. Here you go, guys. I love this all the way on the left. Another Eagle, Zach Bond, making his first Pro Bowl. Fred Warner, perennial. Xavier McKinney from the Packers. Budda Baker, perennial. Brian Branch from that Lions defense. You'd love to see it. It's interesting. The Lions offense is so good, and yet there's their punter right there in the middle. Jack Fox. Moving over to the place kicker, Brandon Aubrey. You know him just kicking nukes for Dallas. My personal favorite Dallas Cowboy, Cavante Turpin. I love Cavante Turpin as a kick returner.
He and Vita Vea will be together again.
Yes! Reunited, Peter.
That's it.
And then you get this one, kind of stock special teamer. There's nothing stock about Kadero Hodge, who's amazing. And then, of course, the legend, the long snapper for the Minnesota Vikings, Andrew DePaula. That's a great crew right there.
Rutgers own, absolutely. That is your defensive side of the ball, and, of course, the special teamers as well for the 2024 Pro Bowl, guys. Pick somebody, pick anybody, a team, a position. Peter, what stood out to you?
Well, I think you nailed it earlier in the segment. For Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel to both be voted to the Pro Bowl in their first seasons as Vikings is a testament to those players. It's also a testament to the GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. These are free agent signings. How rare is it that you get a free agent signing who actually goes on and not only performs, but does so at a Pro Bowl level? So many times we see veterans signed and it's a swing and a miss and it wasn't the right fit. The Vikings struck gold in free agency on defense. And, of course, Brian Flores is enjoying having both of these guys man the middle for them. Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard, congratulations, Pro Bowlers in your first seasons as Minnesota Vikings.
I have reasonably important pieces of the Minnesota Vikings, Peter, and yet I don't think the most important Pro Bowler. That's my guy, Andrew DePaula, the long snapper. I will never not be fascinated by long snappers in any walk of life, especially at the NFL level. You're the best. I don't know exactly how you vote on a long snapper being better than the other 31, but I know DePaula fits all the characteristics. What did you say?
Ross Matisick.
That's the other one. That's the other one. I like DePaula. I like Matisick. I like them all. The fact that they're going to be there in Orlando representing, just out there snapping, I will manage to talk to them because I will be there. Jamie, who do you like?
I find that we have overlooked somebody that I think had a very special place and moment on this show. And if we had anything to do with anyone's vote onto the Pro Bowl roster, it's this guy. Take a listen.
Guys, are you familiar with the name Zach Bond?
Zach Bond. He's doing everything that Zach wants.
Zach Bond, who has 80-plus tackles, 2+ sacks, and an interception this season.
Are you sure there are not two Zach Bonds out there?
That's Zach Bond.
He's knocked out of bounds. The Eagles take over on downs. Zach Bond? Are you kidding me?
Peter, the conductor for Zach Bond's Pro Bowl appearance. A tremendous job, Peter Schrager. Well done. Just take a minute.
Zach Bond did it himself. Remember, this is a guy who signed a 1-year deal for about $4 million to join from the New Orleans Saints, and now he's going to the Pro Bowl, and he has the green dot on his helmet when Nakobe Dean's not out there. Congratulations, Zach Bond, and thank you, Jamie, for that beautiful, beautiful performance by you and by our editing crew to put that together. Zach Bond and Peter Schrager, linked forever.
I needed an eagle screech on GMFB this morning. I really did.
That was my best try right there. But nobody says his name better than you do, Peter. So you really sold that one, Zach Bond. But another name that I think people forget about, I will say Nnamdi Madubuike. the fact that he is going out there, this is the most sacks he's had in the season. This is his second Pro Bowl. Shout out to him. But Vita Vea, just, a force up front. He is now, in position right now. He's got 9 tackles for loss this season. He's playing the best ever in his career. He's 1 sack away from having a career high in sacks right now. So 6 sacks already on the season for him. Just need 1 more. I think he'll get that. But Vita Vea, he's just a guy that you don't want to see. It is so hard, especially when you get so much weight there in the interior. So to be able to move weight the way he moves weight, outstanding.
1 month away. This will all culminate with the Pro Bowl games presented by Verizon. Of course, Kyle, you were there last year. You're going to go again this year. Can you give us a little teaser of what we are looking ahead to?
Sure. We all do different responsibilities and jobs for the media group throughout the year. This is one I beg for, I campaign for. I want to go to the Pro Bowl because you see the players at their absolute happiest. They are so generous, so fun. There's no nerves. We've covered Super Bowls, season openers, drafts. There's stakes and there's nerves and there's tension. The players are on vacation, could not be more generous with their time, could not be happier. I sat there for 2 hours and watched Baker Mayfield sign autographs in Orlando last year. It's so great. And you might say, okay, it's a flag football game. You know that. The fun of that, me personally, they talk so much trash in the game. The stuff that they're saying during flag football, there's no pads, there's no helmet, they're all unencumbered. They talk so much. Tyreek last year was still talking. And then there's these games, like what do the linemen do? It's kind of like if you go back to American Gladiators, they make up these competitions that last year Jason Kelsey was like strategizing and giving pump-up speeches and like really fired up to go against each other. It's high stakes when the competition comes. But other than that, it's like the players are never cooler, never happier, and it's a great, great product that I'm thrilled to work for the 3rd year in a row.
It's so fun to watch. It's an A. Smith production, man. It is so fun to watch.
I think now that we've seen the entirety of the Pro Bowl games roster revealed, my favorite juxtaposition between the AFC and the NFC is the quarterbacks. Lamar, Josh, and Joe against Jaden, Sam, and Jared. Did you see it coming? You absolutely didn't. Those are your Pro Bowl games. The roster's revealed right here on GMFB. Now we